Greetings from the Eccentric Man, and this game features King Bob. Well, not quite, but it's set in the desert. Enjoy the game. The Eccentric Man YouTube channel is kindly sponsored by those good people at Lost Art Games. Check them out online or in store for all your gaming goodies. We did a random roll for the scenarios, and a 1 to 3 gives you the first half of the missions, and a 4 to 6 gives you the second half of the missions. And we rolled and got a confused fight, which is going to be a very interesting game. I'm bringing my Italians to this game, an underrated army for bolt action. The national rules are a bit of a pain, that if you go 3 dice behind your opponent, your leadership dips to -2. -2. But conversely, if you get really good results, you could go up +2. So anyway, what have we got? We've got a second lieutenant. We've got 2 units of veteran paratroopers. They've all got submachine guns. And then we've got a regular unit of Italians behind them. And then followed by 2 units of Italian infantry. They're regular. Each of the units are very basic. Rifle for the NCO, an LMG, and the rest rifles. I've then got a medium artillery gun with a spotter, a medium mortar with a spotter, a 1440, which is the light anti-tank gun, but with 3 machine guns, 2 in the hull, 1 in the turret. And then for the armoured car slot, we get the L640, a 1-man turret, and I take it as veteran. So that's the army that I'm taking against Andy. Always nice to fight type of historical battles, so I'm taking on Andy's 8th Army. And what he's got here is he's got his first lieutenant, he's got the artillery observer, free artillery observer. He's then got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of infantry. I think one of them was a veteran. But they've all just got rifles and an LMG. He's got an anti-tank rifle. He's got a medium mortar with spotter, 25 pounder with spotter, Sherman, a truck, and an AEC Mark II. So set the board up. We're playing Surrounded, which is scenario 11. And I've set out my circle, so it's 12 inches from the centre of the board. And that's where I've got to deploy half of my units. I've got 10 units, so 5 of them will be on the board and 5 off table. So that's where we're going. We'll do this. Quick little look around the rest of the board. Hopefully you won't get too seasick. So as we come round. One thing which was really quite amusing, let's just focus in on him. Oh, you'll get a funny noise now, but there he is, in his glory. We've had the British bombardment, pre-game bombardment, and as you can see, there's been a little bit of damage around and about. So what we have is 3 pins on the spotter on the roof, 3 pins on the officer, 3 pins on the mortar, 2 pins on the medium artillery, 3 pins on the colonial infantry, 2 pins on the spotter, the mortar spotter on the roof, and 1 pin on the colonials here. We use a slight house rule within the game, and we don't do the kill with the preliminary bombardment. The 6 does automatic 3 pins. So if you consider that there was 4 6s rolled by Spiky in that initial preliminary bombardment, that could have had a significant effect, because they could have wiped out the officer, could have wiped out the spotters, and possibly the mortar. Well, the mortar team would have killed 1. But interesting. But we sort of tend to play it that way. It just makes it a little more tricky. Not tricky, but more even balanced, we think. So there we go. I think I've got a good idea of what I'm going to be doing for a few of my turns in the first turn. Okay then, so end of turn 1, and this is the last dice out of the bag, and I was going to rally the Colonials, and I did. Roll the dice, and we've got a foobar. So we're going to roll now to see what that foobar will be doing. 5. Run away.
Panic. Yeah.
Panic.
Got
So
to
they've
move
got
as
run
far
away
as-
from the nearest unit, so which is going to be them. So they're going to be running away past the artillery piece. All good stuff. Well, an interesting end to that turn that was. So they've run across the square. Timber! That's a little game going over there. Can be Dead Man's Hand. Once he's put the store back together again. So we've got the 25 pounders come on, and we've got the infantry that's come on there. That's a spotter, is it there? That one?
That's the artillery observer.
Artillery observer.
And the officer behind.
And then we've got some more British infantry coming on there, and we've got the mortar behind the wood there, and that's about it for Andy's. I've mostly rallied everything, so that's quite good. Realised one mistake that I've made there. That I've placed it in hard cover and rough ground, so we can't actually move out of it. He can just turn to face different things, but he can't move. So he's going to be a bit of a prime target for the mortar there, I think. We've put this little unit in the gap, so that's plugging that one behind the wall. Those were the defensive. I've got 2 defensive walls for the Italians. So yeah, the spotters have still got their pins because we've rallied the main units. So that's the end of turn 1. Beginning turn 2 it'll be, and reserves can come on. And that is going to be the confused fight. So the reserves can come on from anywhere. But once they've come on a side, the opponent cannot bring their troops on behind them. But you can bring them on any other side. So that's going to be interesting. This is the beauty of confused fight. It's a bit of a bun fight over here. And he's just brought out his dice, and the anti-tank rifle is going to stick his gun up the exhaust of the 1441. Moved
3, moved
3,
4,
4, yeah.
Up, back down to 3.
3, yeah. And it's a hit.
So I'm on a +2.
You're on a +2. I am an 8.
So you're on a 6.
But I'm not, no.
Oh, you're riveted.
I'm vulnerable. So I think that gives you an extra +1, doesn't it?
I'm just going to check.
Yeah.
It'll be on your
So the rear armour is always 2 less. And I think I've got vulnerable for the tank. So I think that's going to give me that's going to give Andy an extra +1 penetration, at least. So he's going to have a quick flick through the book, and we'll see what he comes up with.
+3 for rear hits. +3 for rear hits.
When it's vulnerable, yeah. So you got +3 to your 2, so you're on a 5.
I'm on a 5 before. Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
a 5. And your rear armour is.
Well, no, that's what it would be, wouldn't it? So it would be.
Your front armour's 8.
Yeah.
And your rear armour is 7. So
See,
I'm on a 5. You can either take the 3 off of the 7, or you can add the 3 to the 2. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You end up with the 2 to glance and a 3 to penetrate.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Or the one that does nothing then. And that gives me a pin.
So you got 1 for being hit and stunned and down, haven't you?
No, because you haven't penetrated.
Oh, I didn't penetrate.
No.
So it's just 1 for being hit.
Yeah, just 1 for being hit.
Yeah.
Now let's see if we can get the order of things right. Now it's right confusing over here. So the first unit I brought on, confused fight, so you can bring them on from any board edge, came on the Paras, and I attacked the British there. You can see the 2 dead men of that unit and the green pin marker. So Andy put them down, which did save them a bit. The next dice out was the Indians, wasn't it, I think?
sure if that's what it says.
Was it the Indians? No, it wasn't. I think it was my little tank.
Yeah.
So I brought him a little armoured car tank, and Andy went down with his guys here. £25 went down, so I missed with my autocannon. The next on, I think it was the Indians, wasn't it?
Yes.
The Indians came on and took a shot at the paratroopers, killed one and put one pin on them. Then the AEC came on, took a shot at the L60 but missed. Then I brought on my 1441 and I have it stunned the AEC, so that got 2 pins, and my machine guns killed one of the 25-pounders crew. And then, as you saw in the little video before, the anti-tank rifle came on and put a pin onto the tank. So, oh yeah, and then the officer ran in
Yep.
and killed one of the paratroopers.
Yep.
So the paratroopers there have got now 2 pins and 2 casualties, so they took a little bit of a hit. Centre, Andy brought this unit up and took a shot at the artillery piece and put a pin on it, and that pin is from a different shot, but put a pin on it, and I then passed my leadership test, moved it and managed to score a hit on the unit over there and killed 6 of them, and then they failed their leadership test. So that was a bit of harsh check there for Andy. Phew. The little truck came on in the middle with the another unit of British infantry. That was going to go up the middle towards the artillery piece, but I had brought on a unit of Italian infantry on this corner, and they've killed 2 of the mortar team and put a pin on them. So Andy has brought over the infantry to threaten my infantry, which meant I brought up my infantry into the centre and took a little hopeful shot at the British in the wood and killed 2 and put a pin. So that was a very unlucky shooting really there for them to get two shots on them. Now the problem is for turn 3 is that Andy's artillery observer has placed the token there, and me being as I did, moved my officer much closer, and I moved this infantry unit up much closer as well. So I've got already within 6-inch diameter 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 units. So Andy,
Wait, how many do I put down?
for the start of turn 3, fill your boots.
You want to do that now?
Yep.
You alright?
You're right.
Yeah, good.
What do I roll?
Roll the dice, and do you want me to say those immortal words?
Go on then.
They're getting a go, yeah.
Anything but a 1, 2 or 3, I
All
think.
I'm going to do is I'm just going to pair people up.
Yeah. I'll try and bring all 3 of my 1,000 points army. So
D6.
It was an option, so you could 1 early war, 2 late war.
5.
That comes in.
It comes
So
in.
that comes in. Now you roll another dice.
You know quite a bit about rules, don't you?
Yeah.
D6 plus 6 for distance.
Shepherd one of the
Yeah, good. Yeah.
10 can shepherd.
10 inches.
Yeah. I'll be happy to do that. No problem.
So that's going to be a lot of people there.
Do that in a minute.
Yeah, so we'll collect all the dices up and we'll see what we can do.
But I've got an aim as well.
Into turn 4, and we've had a few casualties on here. Over here,
Which means
the 1441, or 1440, whatever it is, it did get the first dice out and decided to shoot at the AEC, but the AEC wrecked away. And then the anti-tank rifle blew up the tank. Penetrated it by more than 3 and certainly blew it up totally. However, I was able to fire with the L60, or whatever it is, 460, whatever, and I have immobilised the AEC and stuck a couple of pins on it, 2 more pins on it. So what else have we got over here? Before it died, the 1440 managed to shoot the 25-pounder and kill the crew, so that was okay. And beyond all belief, the Folgore paratroopers are staying still because their stubborn test they passed last time, so that was okay. They went down, and I managed to pass my leadership test. Needed 6 or less, and I rolled a 5. So the NCO is still there. I targeted one infantry unit with a mortar, and they've moved off out of the area, so they're all safe. So the old Indians over here, they're still trying to kill the Folgore, and they'll probably get them next turn. The artillery piece went off in the centre. Well, the artillery observer, his barrage came in, killed the spotter for the 25-pounder. I put these down just in case they got hit, but they fortunately only took 3 pins, only 3 pins. The officers again went down, took 3 pins, and the other infantry unit over here took 2 pins. So they will rally next time in turn 5. The artillery piece turned its attention to the infantry in the wood. They went down to save themselves. My Italian infantry on this side, they decided to go down. They failed the leadership test on 1 pin. But I gave Andy a bit of a dilemma, because I put the paratroopers down here, closer to the truck, knowing that at the end of the turn, if he didn't bring his tank on next to it, he would lose it. So they came on and shot up the mortar, killed that. And unfortunately for Andy, he rolled 10 for his tank. And it's not veteran. Mind you, it would be a -1 as well, wouldn't it? So, yeah, so the tank didn't come on, so lost the truck. So I was very lucky there. And that went. So, dice-wise for the Italian, we've killed 1, 2, 3, 4 units.
1, 2.
And I've lost 1 unit.
Yep.
So I'm well and truly up to my leadership now is +2 for the moment. But it'll go back down again because the infantry in that corner, the paratroopers in that corner are going to get wiped out. So we're going to move into turn 5 now, is it?
Turn 4.
Is it turn 4?
I think so.
Not turn 5, turn 4. Wow. Time flies. Well done. Well, that was an interesting turn. Let's have a look. Oh yes, let's have a look at the dice situation. So, Italians, when they are 3 dice up, they get +2 to leadership. So at the moment, I've killed 6 British units, and Andy has killed 3 Italians, so I'm 2+ up. So that should help me with my leadership tests this turn. So let's have a look at what we've got over here.
How many do we need?
We charged the infantry with the Folgore, charged the British infantry, killed them. So we've taken refuge into the woods there. But the Sherman is on. And why is the Sherman on over here? Well, it shot at these and killed 2. How many got left? 2, 4, 6. No, killed 2, in fact. And put 1 pin on. But it was able to come on and free roam because, moving across the battlefield, you will see over here that the AEC is dead, killed by the L640, but the L640 is dead because of the anti-tank rifle. So the anti-tank rifle now has killed the 1441, it's killed the L640, and that allowed free range for the Sherman to come on. I tried a sneaky little shot on these and missed. They're ranged in 5, but they'll move next turn. And you can see that the old Folgore man there is dead. He put up a valiant struggle. Now we come over to here, and my +2 leadership tests. And I suppose I was being cheeky because I wanted to do a move with these to get them behind the wall. So it was going to be +2 for the special rule, +1 for the officer. So they were on their 9s down to 5s, and they were up to 8, and I rolled a 10, so they went down. They also failed their leadership test. They went from 9s to 6s, back up to 9s, and failed. So that was good. But over here, these ones did pass the swan pin and moved behind the walls. So that was good. Over on this side in the middle, over on this side in the middle, we pivoted the artillery piece round to see if we could take a shot at the infantry in the hard cover. I needed a 6, but didn't get it, rolled a 5. So, yeah, into the next turn. Are we thinking next turn is 5 or 6?
I think it's 5.
We think it's 5. We have lost count. So, we're into turn 5. Well, fortunes have changed somewhat. We've got 6 dice for the British dead, and we've got 5 Italians. So the Italians' plus leadership has gone down.
You missed both of them.
I did.
So,
Right.
lose our 2 plus.
I know.
That was a bad move.
The tanky over here has come up and took a shot with the machine guns at the
10.
artillery piece. Didn't kill it though, did it?
No.
No, so I turned it around and retaliated, and we put a pin. I was hoping that we could get 3 pins on it, but it only got 1 pin. But you can see the artillery piece is dead. And that was killed by the infantry unit in the hardcover there. They managed to kill the last 2 men, or the last man in fact.
Man, yeah.
And you can see here that the Italian officers are dead. Apparently Mr. Christopher Lee over here, who took a shot with his submachine gun at long range, needing 5s, got 2 5s, killed 1, and then I rolled 11 for the leadership test. And that's them dead. This unit, I tried to rally, and they failed and went down.
Oh, no.
So not so good. The mortar fired at the Indian unit at the far side, missed, but I need a 4 to hit them next turn. We might get them. We might get
Yeah,
them.
you might.
And of course we've got all the dead, got the dead armour over on this side. So yeah, it's very close now.
Shoot across at this. 2 shots.
End of turn 6, and the game has sort of swung around on this one. So the unit over here went down to save themselves, so they've got 6 pins there, haven't they? Yeah, 6 pins. So that's there. The mortar team survived. It failed to range in on there, so it needs a 3 if we go into turn 7. The anti-tank rifle took a pot at them at long range. The tank took a pot at them with the machine guns over the hard cover, but didn't kill them off, fortunately. Paratroopers, I've run around the back to keep them safe, and I've moved the Italian infantry on the far side to keep them safe as well. So I've got 5 dice left, and it's 6-5 at the moment. So Andy, if you roll a dice, 4 to 6, we go into turn 7.
No.
But we don't. It ends there, and it's probably a draw because you need to have 2 units to clear it. So a draw. So well done, Andy.
Cracking game. Crazy game.
From being 6 dice to 3 down, yeah, it came back again. So yeah, saved the day. But yeah, that 2+ Italian Avanti Surveyor didn't do me no good at all because I failed with 10s and 11s. Never mind, that's how it runs. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game as much as we did. It's great fun to play some of the lesser played scenarios from the book, and I think Confused Fight is one of those that falls into that category. A little bit tricky perhaps for people to think about when units can come on and when they can't come on which sides they can, but if you read the book it explains it fairly well. But I would recommend playing some of these lesser played scenarios. We get into a habit of playing and turning up and just playing meeting engagement. But it is well worth playing the other scenarios too, because you can have a lot of fun with them. So yeah, give them a try. Yeah, I love this little monument that Andy put together with the little minion, King Bob there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and hit that notification button for early information about when the next video goes up. Anyway, until the next time, take care and see you soon.